This is a Headgum original.
Can you not fall asleep right now? We need to talk about that disgusting habit that you picked up.
It's called butt chugging, and last time I checked, it wasn't disgusting.
Really? Have you checked recently?
Amir is shining in the sky. No golden mic inside. I'm in trouble, NBA was in a bubble. You're the only advice podcast on the web. Jake speeds down the avenue. Burning Man starts so soon at 7:30. And Amir has got his turdy. His koi juice together make If I Were You. If I were you, what should I do? My ex is thirsting me on Insta. If I were you, what should I do? Can my best friend give me a blowjob? BJ. If I were you, what should I do? My ex is thirsting me on Insta. If I were you, what should I do? Can my best friend give me a blowjob? BJ. Hey, if I were you, oh please tell me what to do. Jesus, if you only knew. Share with me your point.
Wow.
Hold on, there's
Fucking-
4 more minutes. I accidentally made it
I'd
quiet.
listen. That'd be fun.
Do you know that song? Do you know the parody?
It's a Beatles song, right?
No, it's Mr. Blue Sky by ELO.
What?
Made popular from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's when I found out about it.
Got it. Yeah, it's very familiar. It's very
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
So long. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Guillermo and Austin say that this theme song, was years in the making, and their hope is to hear it sometime before 2025.
Well, I'm glad you played it in its entirety. It deserved it.
And we're going to play it at the end. Remember that new rule.
That's right. Yeah, that's a new resolution for us.
Written by Guillermo and Austin, 2 listeners from, you'll never guess,
Buffalo.
Austin, if you can believe it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
We'd love if you shouted out our podcast blank, and then they go on to explain the podcast. Thank you, Austin and Guillermo. Namaste.
Namaste. Why don't you shout out the podcast?
I'll put them in touch with Marty for sponsor content.
You're going to play their song twice. It's giving you an intro and an outro to your podcast.
Yeah.
So you pay by giving them a shout out.
I'll fucking shake. I'll charge them an extra CPM because we already gave them a shout out, so we can build that into the ad buy. Actually,
you should focus on doing the podcast and less on monetize. I want you spending less time with Marty. Okay. Because I don't think he enjoys it either.
I'm down to spend a little less time, say $50 a day. I don't see him at all.
All right, you're just trying to monetize your time constantly, but
I figure
you're
if
not
I can
worth anything.
If I can get paid by enough people,
is what I'm trying to say.
To not
you have no
hang
value.
Out, then I can sort of monetize
a zero.
Even time that I'm not hanging out.
You're nothing.
That's
you're
really interesting, actually. Like
you're
a lot of people,
on society. You're useless.
So you'd have to pay me not to talk about something.
Bring other people
anti-ad
down. De-elevate.
Yeah.
You're like an excavator.
All right, fine. It's called Tournament Style. Are you happy? The podcast it's a 2-man comedic show where we host a tournament every week and figure out the best thing in any given category. So shout out to Tournament Style.
It's a good show.
Yeah,
it's like I like it.
It's like March Madness, but like, you know, with other things. I think Billy and Adam do that on their podcast sometimes. These guys just made it their entire podcast tournament style. So thank you, Austin.
Style. That's really good. It's like
Austin
All
from
Fantasy
Austin.
Everything meets the Goat Show.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. So that's
AKA the perfect podcast.
I wonder if we own that show now.
I don't think so because me and Mike had kind of like ranked products and it sounds like they come to a consensus. All Fantasy Everything is a
I want to
competition.
roll that IP into our umbrella. Ella, hey, we own your thoughts. Hey.
This is you in court. You have to be sworn in, Mr. Blumenfeld.
Really? I was going to say that I rested my case, as it were.
Ace.
Under my case, ace. What were we going to say? Make another podcast where we combine two shows?
Yeah, we could just make it as a podcast, but you wanted to roll it up and sue them or something? I don't know.
What other two shows can we sort of mind meld into its own third property? So like Punch Up the Jam and NADPod. So it's like almost this D&D meets Airbnb, and I want it to be sponsored by VRBO.
I know I told you to stop thinking about sponsored, but I actually also want you to stop thinking about the creative. Let's not have you focused on ideally anything at the company.
Okay. I wonder if I could
not own any funnel that we have at Headgum, any bucket. So
I'm wondering if there's even like
I know what you're
distracting toy I could have to keep me at bay / busy while other things happen, you know?
Cool. Yes, I think you should still have a fidget spinner at your house
cool.
somewhere.
I
feel
could
like
spend
you bought one
time with that
during the heyday. Yeah.
So I'll use that instead of Slack, for example.
If we ever did another season of Lonely and Horny, Ruby Jade should have a fidget spinner.
Hey.
Not a dress, but just you're at the bar with a fidget spinner and a cocktail.
And I'm really good at it. Hopping it from one finger to the other.
Yeah, it'd have to not be impressive.
All right, this is If I Were You, the only advice pod on the web, hosted by, well, me. I'm Amir.
I am Jake, and we're on video for the first fucking time.
Talk about monetizing shit. Why don't we put some of our audio content on YouTube as a video?
That's right. Yeah,
Let's try it out.
A lot of podcasts do it. We've had our podcast for 8 years, 9 years?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to try that, to try to grow the show.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to grow show. Well, there's an awful lot of traffic and it's in decline. No, our show is dying basically, and we're trying to revive it, as it were. This is the defibrillator / video version of our show. You can obviously still listen to it. You're listening to it right now. You know that.
Right. And you might be watching it. You might have already been hip to the fact that it's on YouTube because we're going to put it on, I don't know, Headgum's YouTube, If I Were You's YouTube, Jake and Amir's YouTube.
I think
it'll be somewhere. So you might already be watching it just because it's in your feed.
Yeah. I think it'll be on Headgum's YouTube. That's
great.
That's at least what I understood. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good spot for it to be.
Actually, we got a follow-up pop that's a little visual. So this is perfect timing. I can share my screen, and I think it'll record it as a little screen share action. This is
perfect.
The guy who thought he had a zit on his lip and wanted to know if he should go in for the kiss as a second date.
Yes, I recall.
So, and you said that you needed to see it. That
I did.
You know, we're like, we can't say for like certain.
And you said, I think you said it was fine, and I said, you don't go until I have more information. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds right. And then we didn't know, you know, sometimes people overblow it, sometimes people underblow it. Is it a cold sore? Is it a zit? We just didn't know. So he sent us a picture, and he said, we kissed. It was okay. I think she was avoiding the growth on my lower lip. Hopefully she'll see me again. You don't think it's a cold sore, right? It's probably not a cold sore. What do you think?
It went from a zit to the growth. The growth sounds large.
That was
and in charge.
That was a red flag. And then he sent us
Let's see it.
This pic. which I sent to you and you said we should talk about. Let me open it just so that you don't see anything else on my incredibly private screen.
Right,
there we go.
This is gonna go wide. Oh dear God.
Yeah, so that's
dear me. I mean,
so how would you describe that to our audio listeners?
That's a severe white head on that zit. It feels like I think he went to great lengths to leave the white head so no one would think that it was a cold sore. Does that track? Like, that looks like it's a white head about to burst to me. And it's basically half on his chin and half on the lip.
The thing that makes me think it's not a zit is that it's not like, how a lot of zits end in a point, almost like the tip of a snow-capped mountain or a volcano.
Right.
This one is sort of a flat white disc.
There's no peak. It appears to be a valley.
It's a
concave.
mesa. It looks like a scenery in Sedona, New Mexico or Arizona or something like that. A long, flat, white mesa of sorts. A plateau.
I can't believe he even wrote to us asking for advice. This is a clearly don't go situation. This is a cancel the date. It's a quarter of his lip, I think.
No, now you're embellishing. It is half on the lip, half on the chin area. I would say
right.
It's almost like if you were playing shuffleboard and it landed
I was
like
thinking
this.
the exact same thing. Yeah, it's a hanger.
It's a hanger off.
This is what you want. This is that 4-point shuffleboard zit.
Yes. Almost half that it would fall over, but not quite. I would say it's like 48% on lip, 52 on chin.
Goat shuffleboard shot, woat zit, I would say.
I mean, we're describing a zit in detail. Does this make people want to watch the video more or less? I guess we'll have data soon.
I personally wanted you to cut away from that video as soon as you shared the screen. I'm amazed. Whoever this girl is, you should marry her because she's very chill.
Yeah. Also, is it cold sore or coal sore?
I think it's cold. COLD.
That is correct.
Nice. But it's pronounced coal, is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's pronounced
cold sore? Or do people say cold sore and like you just sort of drop the D? Cold sore. Cold sore.
It's cold. You hardly say the D right when you're like describing how cold it is in a room. Cold. Yeah, it's cold in here. Cold sore.
No, I say cold. I think I say the D pretty hard. Cold sore, I feel like I accentuate the D.
Do you know that cold sores are herpes?
Yes.
So it's the same little infection. It's a herpes infection, but it's on your lips. And once you have it and you get it repeatedly, but then if you don't have it, you never get it. Are you a have it and get it repeatedly or a never get it?
That's weird because I guess I've never gotten one, but I also feel like I've heard that like the majority of people have like that type, like whatever type of herpes that is, like herpes 1 or 2 or whatever, or A or something like that.
Yeah, the Delta herpes variant.
Yeah, most people have the one that has just like the mouth sores, but that's fine.
And then there's something completely separate, the canker sore.
Yeah,
2 different sores.
Wait, is that herpes too?
No, I think canker is just like any like lesion in your mouth. Like if you bite your cheek or if you like brush your teeth and that little white fucking canker opens up to heal.
Yeah, those are on. I've gotten a canker. I don't like the canker.
Have you ever had 2 cankers? That'll fucking ruin your month.
That's
to have
an anchor
2
that will tank your weekend.
A tanker sore is when you have 4 in a row. It's like you're playing Battleship in your mouth.
You suck my mouth.
Oh God. 4 cankers is a tanker sore.
God.
3 is an anchor sore, and 2 is just a canker.
Did I tell you I'm getting my wisdom teeth out on Monday?
No, Jesus.
The day this episode drops, I'm getting my remaining 2 wisdom teeth out. I had 2 out a couple or like 10 years ago.
Are they in right? Like, are they fully in, or are they like behind your gum line?
They're fully in. The dentist that did my original. I feel like I've talked about this before. The dentist that did my original what is it called? Wisdom teeth removal.
Yeah.
The extraction. He said that I had enough room in my mouth for these two over here. So, and he was like, it's too much to take out all 4 right now. So I'll do these 2. And if you need these ones done later, we can do that. And everybody that I've seen since is like, that's insane. If you're getting put down to take your teeth out, you should just got all of them. And it was painful and I didn't like it. So I've put off getting these 2 out for 10 years. But now they're starting to crowd my teeth. I didn't have the room that fucking quack said I did. So I'm going to get my upper and lower wisdom teeth on the left side of my mouth out on Monday.
Wow. So you're going to be out of commission for a few days, aren't you? That's not like I can record on Tuesday type of ordeal.
Yeah, I think I'm like definitely out on. I put in the Headgum out of office calendar that I'm not in on Monday or Tuesday.
Wow.
And I imagine that even by the time we record the next podcast, I'll have a chubby cheek. Maybe the beard will hide some of it, but we'll see. Check back in. Subscribe to the video podcast now to see how I look post surgery.
And it's interesting that it's only on one side because I've seen like the puffy face where they get them all out at the same time.
Yep.
I'm unfortunate in that regard too because I think I never had wisdom teeth. Like some people just don't grow them.
What? That's incredible.
Not only that, but I think I also had 4 like regular teeth removed. So like I have your average is 28, and if you have wisdom teeth, it's 32, and I have like 24. I have less teeth than normal.
That's so weird. You got
Can you
your
see?
teeth.
And now that we're doing a video, I only have like
only
2.
6.
I have 4
6 on the
teeth.
bottom.
I only have 2 molars.
Wow.
And then some people have a third, and then like the wisdom is even behind that or
Yeah,
something.
mine go. I feel like mine on the left side just go back forever.
Yeah, that's why.
But I can't open my mouth all the way, so I wonder if like I'll be able to do it more when I don't have these wisdom teeth in. I have like the TMJ. Listen, everyone, listen at home. This is the sound of my jaw cracking. Ready?
Yeah. Oh.
You hear that?
Yeah, it sounds like there's an aluminum can in your throat.
Yeah, it does that. I'll do it on video for everyone too. You can kind of see how my mouth has to like move to the side. If I go wider than a couple inches, it'll lock up.
It seems like everybody has something, maybe even 2 or 3 things. Like that could almost be a podcast. Like, what's your thing that you deal with? And it's like this weird personal thing that you have. Like, oh, by the way,
ailment.
Yeah, like the jaw thing is like such a big part of people's lives that have it bad. And like if you don't have it, you don't think about it at all.
Yeah. Like, right. I remember when I was going to r/no burp. It's really, it dominates.
Right.
There's a subreddit for every single ailment, and people are in there discussing. I sometimes dip in when something is bothering me.
What's your ailment? That's good.
Yeah. What's your ailment? What's your damage?
For a while, my ailment was acne, like figuring out how to hide zits, remove zits, get rid of zits, like put toothpaste on zits while I slept.
Yeah. And for a while, mine was... I thought that I was going bald when I was like 28 because my hairline is like receding. But now that I'm 36 and it hasn't changed since I was 20 in my 20s, it's like, oh, that's fine. But when I was in my 20s, it was less than other people. But now I'm 36. It's kind of the same as everybody. So it really leveled out.
Yeah, so it went back and then it sort of stayed until everybody caught up to it.
Yeah, like went high on both sides, like higher than it was in college. And I was like, oh my God, it's going. And I was like freaking out. And then it's just sort of, it's paused since then.
Yeah. Have you ever shaved, gone full buzz?
No, because I can also like kind of feel, I like can feel a mole on my scalp that I feel like if I shave my head, I'll have to deal with. Yeah. And I don't want to go there.
All right, now that we've gotten sort of our mouth ailments / cold
It'd be kind
sore
of interesting to fucking to shave my head. Yeah, I think it would look bad.
It seems like everyone should try it at least once, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
everybody, we all deserve to see what our head looks like, is shaped like. I remember buzzing it a few times in New York. Yeah,
right. You did it recently. I guess I did it like in high school, but
high school doesn't count.
Yeah, it'd be a fun bet. It'd be
Loser
a fun bet
to
to do now. Yeah,
maybe we could do our Super Bowl bet this year.
Oh, it is coming. Oh my God. Oh my God. I would be so sad. I don't know if I can handle it.
All right, let's take a break, come back, after these sponsors and answer some more questions.
Yep.
I guess answer questions at all, really.
Right.
And we're back. Hey, Jake, do you have any?
On to let's do the fight.
Mom, I'm coming.
Gross.
Not that I can think of, but maybe you do.
I picked up a pretty interesting pandemic hobby recently. Maybe it would be for other people too. Started riding a bike, actually. Might be
That's
kind of a cool thing
that's my hobby.
that I bring to the masses in a way.
Bring to
I
the
want to
masses.
be like
No.
almost a leader of the pack.
You're not the leader of the pack. I'm leading this particular pack because I've been riding a bike for a long time. You just learned.
Yeah, I just
learned this.
I
year.
learned
So, yeah.
how to ride a bike. So like you're just like I always knew. So you didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I started riding like seriously. I go for like 50-mile bike rides.
Seriously, you ride a bike. You've always ridden a bike. I'm learning literally from scratch. So like I will go with Avital to the LA River bike path, and when it's nice and wide open, I can stumble as I start sometimes fail, and then sometimes get the ball rolling. And once the things are rolling, the wheels, to go forward, I can go for a little bit.
I'm happy for you, by the way. Like I think this is, the way you're bringing this to the table. That's what miffs me. That's what rubs me the wrong way. The fact that you're trying to present this as like this.
It's almost like a
amazing-
gift that I'm presenting. Basically.
Yeah, you're not like a bike ambassador.
Yes, that's the word. I'm an ambassador.
You're a clinger-on. You're a fair weather fan.
Fair weather biker. That's true. I only like to bike when it's nice and sunny out.
That's right.
But-
and I biked last week when it was like 48. So
It's too cold. Not for me.
Oh wow.
But
Anyway,
yeah.
Tell me everything. I'm excited for you.
So it's still difficult for me to start. Like because the bike that I bought for myself, they moved the seat quite high because they want my legs to be extended fully when they're on the pedals, which means I can't sit on the seat and then straddle and hold it down, which is how I feel comfortable. Like if I fall, I can always just do the splits and I'm on the seat still, but no, because I'm an adult male, I gotta fucking have my legs extended on the pedal, which means if I fall, I'm literally like, like that.
I think there's a happy medium there.
I would
where
think
you
so,
don't have
too.
to like they can lower the seat a little bit.
They could.
You
They
shouldn't
should.
be I think you should be able to get your. I mean, what you're supposed to be able
I
to
can
do is like
tip.
both.
I can tip, but I can't do both.
I think you should be able to be on the ground with both feet on your tippy toes, maybe even half tippy toes, at least to start. That's
Yes.
fucking crazy.
I would agree. Anyway, so braving that fact, it's a little difficult to start, especially when it's crowded. Like we went on the weekend and there's like bikes zooming by, and like when I start, I'm like whoa, 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 and then I straight. So, like I can't do the whoa, whoa, whoa part.
Right,
Especially
yeah,
when people
you gotta
there's
start
like people
straight.
walking dogs. I'm like, I'm gonna run over this poodle. So when it's busy, I like a nice open street. I can do the wobble and then I'm straight. And then once I'm straight, I'm like I'm kind of like white knuckling, keeping my arms straight, trying to like stay as straight. I'm never like, not yet at least, because I've only, done this a handful of times. I'm never just cruising straight in a relaxed fashion.
Right. Are there moments where you like it? Well, like, or are you kind of like gritting your teeth to learn because you think you'll like it?
I'm sort of equating it to skiing in that it's kind of cumbersome and difficult to get to, but then once the movement is happening, it's nice. And it's like, okay, I can see the appeal of this. And I'm, moving faster than I would walking. And now that I'm going, I can stay going and feel the wind in my hair. And that's nice.
And did you buy a new bike?
I bought a bike about a few months ago, but I haven't really ridden it much until recently.
What kind of bike? Is it a road bike, mountain bike, cruiser?
It's probably not a mountain bike. It's thick wheels. It's not like a skinny wheel. It's sort of, I just basically said, I don't know how to ride a bike. What do you recommend?
I wonder, send me a link to it. I bet how many gears does it have?
It has 7. And here's the problem. I never know which gear to go to because, I'm not going uphill and downhill. So like, I just keep it at 2. Is that fine? Is that normal?
Yeah, if that feels, I think you want to be getting like one full rotation on the wheel for every time you spin the pedal.
Right. And I'm not even thinking about that. I'm not like, how many rotations am I getting here? I'm just like going or stopping, trying to start or falling. Those are my four modes.
Yeah, that's cool. So, but it's totally about a feeling. If it feels like you're pedaling and it's propelling you forward fast enough with enough effort, that's good. But if you feel like you're gnashing on the pedals and your wheels aren't spinning, then you're in too high or low of a gear.
Here's another question for you. The gear changer is just like a button. You click down and it changes. How do you know whether it's changing up or down?
Every bike is different. Like I know on my bike that if I press one button, it's going down a gear, and if I press another button, it's going up. There's like two different buttons.
Mine, I think, is almost like a bell being rung. Like I just press it down, but maybe I can push it towards me. Would that change?
Is there only one?
Only one what?
Is there
only one what? You're embarrassing me. You know that I don't know the answer to that question.
Is
there only one? So now I look like a fool.
Little lever thing. You look like a fool for blowing up at me the way you are. Is there only one of those like little levers? There's not one on the right and one on the left.
Yes, it's only one gear thing on the right.
Okay,
side.
yeah. So maybe going down, there's a difference between pulling it down and pushing it up.
Oh, interesting.
There's probably yeah, I think there must be something in the direction that it's going.
At what point I was at 4 and I like pressed it and it was like down to 3, and then I pressed it again. I'm like, ooh, down to 2. I'm like, I better not go down anymore because I don't know how to go back up. Like these are permanent decisions I'm making here as far as I'm concerned.
Send me a photo of it. I'll look into it.
Okay, we could do bike talk with the screen share next week.
Yeah.
And then also, have you ever adjusted the brakes? Like one of my brakes was sort of like rubbing against the wheel, even not squeezing it. Like, you know how there's these little rubber pads are supposed to like hover a millimeter away from the wheel?
Yeah.
You can almost like adjust it with a screw.
Right. I have adjusted the brakes before. I've had like wheels that also like kind of get bent and go into them. I don't know. Yeah. Lots of that stuff.
You ever fall down?
Brakes now.
You ever like hit a gate?
Yeah, God, knock on wood. I so far have not fallen down. I've had some very, very close calls that are like pretty harrowing. Like there was one time where I was going in between, it was like turning onto Delancey Street to go over the Williamsburg Bridge. And there's like cars, bikes, pedestrians, just like so many people.
Yeah.
People coming up, people going down. I'm trying to turn left, and I see a little bit of space, and it's like it's by going in between where like the curb and the sidewalk are. Mm-hmm. So I like made a quick decision to do that, but I had like I wasn't pedaling. I was like cruising a little bit, and I had my right pedal. It was just like stationary, but it was lower, and I was standing up on the bike, and that pedal clipped the curb, and I just like. Almost flipped over the handlebars.
Jesus.
I almost fell, but I caught myself. So it ended up being okay.
And also, don't you clip into your pedals? That seems kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. Clipping in, the first time I did that was very, very scary.
You can never take your fucking foot off the pedal? That seems illegal.
Well, you can. It's just kind of, it's a little hard. You have to twist your foot out of it.
Right.
Yeah, you can adjust. The pedals can be adjusted so you can either like clip in and feel like, your foot is locked in place, or you can clip in and feel like, I can wiggle this out really fast if I needed to.
Yeah.
So, but the nice thing about having the pedals clipped in is like you're propelling yourself on the down, on like the, your downstrokes as well as your up. So when you're like, it's just it's so much more efficient. It feels incredible to ride a bike like that.
Yeah, well, I'm so far away from that I can't even imagine. I need to get to the point where I can hardly turn. Like when I get to a street and I need to turn around, I'm like sort of trying to turn, almost falling down, standing up on the bike, lifting my bike, turning it around, driving it the other way.
I think all you can do is just practice a lot. It's great.
I was hoping that you would recommend a pill or some cheat sheet where
you could get one of those like seasickness bracelets that kind of helps you stay more balanced.
Good. Yeah. I basically like my father gave it a very half-assed attempt to teach me. Like I never had a small bike. He would try to teach me like on an adult bike. So I'd be like terrified it wouldn't work, and I would be like crying, and he'd be like, all right, fine, you don't have to try anymore because you're crying a lot. But there was never like, here's your small bike with training wheels first. Oh, that's a good idea. That's not how Israelis do it.
I've tried to teach you to ride a bike 2 separate times. Once in Nantucket like 10 years ago, and then once 5 or 6 years ago when we moved
to LA.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked. Like, it's always the same thing where like once I get going, I can get going.
Yeah.
It's the hard time is starting.
Yeah, that's great. I'm actually going to be in LA in the end of January. So I feel like we should go biking.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be better by then. It's now January 5th at the time of recording. You have 3 weeks. I have to fucking practice every day. And it's really freaking shameful a little bit to see a 38-year-old who's like, oh, people look at me like I'm making fun of a child. When I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not ridiculing anybody. I actually don't know how to start and stop because everyone knows how to do it.
I feel like there's some really nice, easy tips and tricks that I'll be able to tell you as soon as I see what you're doing. You know?
Yeah, but what could it possibly be? Like when I start riding, I pedal down, and sometimes that thrust is too much, and I'll fall to the right. Yeah,
I mean, I think when you're doing that, I guess I would just like try to keep your core tight.
Really,
you know, that's what's keeping your balance.
I sort of do a jelly bean to the right, and I like contort my soft tummy off the bike a little bit.
Right.
I guess I could keep my core tight. I also do one-handed a lot. So like instead of two-handed, I'll like sort of yank the wheel as I start to ride because I feel like I want to hold on to a ledge.
That makes sense. One of my goals is to learn how to ride with no hands.
So oh my God, I saw some guy fucking whiz by me like that. This guy was like texting while like biking perfectly straight. I'm like, holy shit. Even one hand is really hard. It's so hard.
Is what I want like, I've seen people just like riding down the street in New York, like both hands off, leaning back, eating a bagel. And I'm like, that's my shit.
Right into a wall.
Bagel, coffee. Goddamn, the dream.
I have a full fucking dinner in front of them. They're slicing a steak.
The fucking bib.
That's a good example of like when people are like, how do you not know how to ride a bike, or how does it feel when you're riding a bike? Ride without hands. That's how I feel riding with my hands. So like that's how little balance and control I feel at all times.
Right. So really it's courageous that you're trying. I'm proud of you.
Wow. Yeah. Everybody else is a coward for not trying to ride without their fucking hands.
That's right.
Do you ever do one-handed?
Like me. Yeah, one-handed is easy. I can do that.
That's no harder than two.
Yeah, I would love if I could get myself to feel like I do with one hand with no hands. That would be incredible.
Do you know anyone who could ride no hands?
Our buddy Miles, who actually did the stinger for Headgum Originals.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but he can ride with no hands. Like,
can he turn? Can you turn without hands?
Yeah, he like will ride. We'll ride home from the gym together, and I'm like riding with my hands on my handlebars, and he's like no hands, turning and talking to me, like using his hands.
It's almost like a self-driving bike.
Yeah, like he's like passively looking around. I'm like fine at bike riding, but I also have like I'm scared. You know, I'm afraid of everything I do while being afraid.
So like when you get to a place, you're like relieved, and you have to like untense upon arrival.
Yeah, like when I clip in and I will ride to Central Park, because I'll ride into Central Park and I'll do like loops around the park. And when I'm in the park, that's great. I'm so relaxed. But like there's like several parts of this ride that I like dread. Like getting off the Williamsburg Bridge and to the bike path in Manhattan is stressful, and there's always cars trying to hit you.
And it's like sharp inclines and declines, so you have less control.
Yeah, and start stop, and you have no idea. You also have people are fucking insane, and there's like the e-bikes, and people ride mopeds over the bridge, and like people will stop and take a selfie, and they'll just like turn really quick and just like step into the bike lane. So you always have to be ready to fucking stop, or you're gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, that's not me. That can't be me. I'm not.
I do like it. There's parts of it that are fun.
Yeah, it's cool to do it and to feel the rush, but I feel like it's way too dangerous.
Yeah, I actually felt like it was more dangerous riding a bike because I used to bike to work in LA, and I would definitely get into more harrowing situations there than in New York.
Because people are not used to it.
Yeah, there's no room for a bike in LA, and nobody's expecting them either. I feel like New York is like everything is insane, but you're kind of like at any moment anything can happen. Like there's cars coming on like in and out of their parking spots. Everyone's double parked. There's deliveries or whatever. So you're just like one of a million things. But in LA, when you're on a bike, it's like you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah,
they're not looking for you.
I hit like bikes all the time when I'm driving around. Like
I remember that. Yeah, I was in your car one time.
the guy that like flip up and like I didn't even see that dude land.
I was like, we should stop. And you're like, what do you think? He's okay?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Wow. Jesus. You know,
Yeah. I mean, that's why they wear
so
helmets,
flippant,
right?
Like you do it all the time.
Yeah. It was funny. It was fun, actually.
Yeah.
All right. We really have to answer questions. This is fucking
Right.
like enough is enough.
Yeah. You're
One
right.
last break, and then I swear, enough bike
Questions.
talk, enough mouth talk. We have to give the people what they want, which is our wisdom shed about a specific
it.
issue.
Let's fucking do it.
We'll be back after these massages.
Perfect.
And we are back.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I guess we've answered this lady before. She's an algebra teacher. I think there was like some math related question or something like that before.
Love it.
But this one is a COVID related question. The first time I met one of my coworkers, what was your algebra teacher's name? Do you remember?
God. No. Like Mr. Fantarella, maybe, or something like that. Probably not, though. Santarella? Something like that.
Mrs. Santarella writes, the first time I met one of my coworkers was at a
Oh, wait, it
teacher.
was Mr. Kane. Sorry. Apologies.
Mrs. Kane writes, the
Yeah.
first time I met one of my coworkers was at a new teacher orientation in August of 2021. He admitted that he had gotten COVID twice, but insisted that he doesn't need the vaccine because he now has antibodies. Needless to say, perhaps it's good that he's a special education teacher rather than a science teacher. Nice. A few days into our winter break, he texted me that he got COVID again. When I asked if he would get the vaccine this time after he recovers, he rejected the notion. Winter break ends tomorrow, and I feel like it's my social duty to say something to him, especially since we work around impressionable teens. Do you have any advice about how to handle a 30-year-old Texan anti-vaxxer? Love,
Wow.
Mrs. Kane.
God, that's fucking insane. There's just so many different people in the country. It's also very like I maybe I'm mistaken, but I think that you have to be vaccinated if you're a teacher in New York. Like you can't go back to work without it.
Yeah, it
So
seems
that's
if
not
that's not the rule, it
everywhere,
definitely
obviously.
seems like that should be the rule. And so you assume it's the rule, but maybe that's not the rule.
Yeah, I think
And
it's the rule here, and I assume that it's everywhere, but that's clearly not the case because New York is progressive.
Yeah. Definitely not the rule in
don't know.
Texas, and probably not the
Yeah.
rule in Florida. And this guy is in Texas, and he's
Right.
teaching children. I mean, is it even possible to convince someone that's gotten COVID 3 times? I feel like his
Yeah.
resolve is stronger now than ever.
Yeah, I think if he's not convinced after getting the disease thrice, there's nothing you can say. He's already been sick. His own decisions have made him get sick 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, like the very least you could tell him that it's not necessary. Like getting the vaccine will help you have, less symptoms when you do catch it,
Right.
which he's clearly prone to do.
Yeah, he's definitely getting it a 4th time. I wonder what the record is. It's been around for 2 years. Has somebody gotten it like 8 different times?
Jesus Christ.
Like once every 4 months, you got COVID for 24 months.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, probably.
It's in play.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Hypothetical. What percentage of Americans do you think have gotten COVID? It's not like there's no data for the true answer out there. It's just, you sort of have to guesstimate. Do you think it's over or under 50%?
I guess I was gonna guess 50, but I do think there's probably way more people that got it and didn't get tested and didn't have severe symptoms. Like
Yeah.
when I had it, I never knew that I had it.
Right. You just had antibodies one day and you're like, oh, okay, I had it.
Yeah.
And that's because you tested antibodies. If you didn't even do that, you would have no idea.
Right, you would never know. So I guess I'll say 70%.
Wow, I love it. 70.
Sure, why not?
Fuck it, I'll say 80. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's all
I'll say
just
1% because I think you just went over. I think you went way over. And I just won.
You already guessed 70. You already guessed.
And you're not allowed 2 guesses?
No.
Sorry, did you... What are the rules here? You're making them up as you go.
I'm just asking
You're making
you
it up
what
as you go.
Yeah.
There are rules, and I can have 2 guesses, and I guess 1%, and you went over.
And then you also get 70, though.
Yeah, well, I changed my guess when I heard yours. I went out on the limb. I guessed first.
So
that took balls. That took huevos. You try to go above me, and then I am allowed one more guess to sort of course correct, as it were. I think you went over. I went to 1%.
So I'll go to 45. I'll go to 45%. There's no way you're closer than I am.
I nailed it with 70%.
You removed that guess. You absolutely removed the guess. The guess is null. The guess is void. There is no guess.
Congrats.
And there's no telling this guy what to do, unfortunately. I feel like you can tell on him and hope the school makes people get vaccinated, but it seems like that's not the case in Texas either.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that can be done.
Have you considered a state change to one that lines up more with your...
No. We need you in Texas. We should.
Because we need to flip it. Yeah.
Yeah. We should move to Texas.
We can hang out with Austin, our theme song singer.
That's right. Exactly.
Here's another question from another lady. She's asking about something I haven't heard about in 5 years. That's right. The friend zone.
Nice.
Remember the friend zone?
I do remember the friend zone.
I'm a 26-year-old female, and I don't know what to do about a guy I like. He's my neighbor, and we've hung out as friends for a few months. At first, I wasn't into him romantically, but after getting to know him, I realized that we have a lot in common, and I want to see if there could be something more. The problem is, we have both talked about dates we've been going on to each other. Does this mean he wouldn't want to date me? I want to tell him how I feel, but I don't want to lose him as a friend. Do you think I should go for it? And how do I say it in a way that could keep it chill if he doesn't like me? Thank you. I'll go Mrs. Spall, my algebra teacher.
Perfect. I don't feel like this is... we've talked about the friend zone not being a real place that you can actually be in.
I'm actually thinking of moving to either Texas or the friend zone.
Friend zone.
Yes. There are no cases in the friend zone. It's kind of like the metaverse, if you think about it.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It only exists in virtual reality, the friend zone. So
Yeah.
you're saying
you would
she's
be
not
able to
actually
ride a
in
bike
it.
there.
Yeah, without handlebars and hands. That's right. I'm on a fucking unicycle.
I do think... I feel like this is easily possible. Like, to me, it's a flirty thing to talk about dates, especially if, I guess it depends what kind of dates you're talking about. If the dates are not going great and you're not interested and you're like talking shit about people, then that's a very sexy place to be. You're basically both admitting that you're playing the field and seeing what's out there, and that you're available, especially if you're talking about multiple dates. It'd be one thing if he's like talking to you about a girl that he's seeing that he likes, or you're doing the same thing to him. But talking about dating is it's a flirty place.
Yeah.
I think you're already doing what you need to do.
Yeah, it's tough because sometimes the friend zone is the flirtiest place of all. You're like talking about other people, sort of keeping each other apprised of what's going on romantically. There's nothing more romantic than the friend zone.
When I was 27, I basically only hooked up with my friends. I think
Everybody was in the zone.
Yeah.
Auto zone. Yeah, the weird part is when you actually went on dates with strangers when you're in your 20s.
Right. People say from the friend zone and also friends with benefits. It's also...
I want to be in the
Can I be in
friends
the
with
friend
benefits
zone with
zone.
benefits? Yeah. I'm in the friend zone, but are there benefits here? What am I doing in the fucking friend zone? There's not even a benefit.
Or is it a completely different zone? There's the friend
two
zone
different
and then the
zones, yeah.
friends with benefits zone.
Yeah.
And then there's the auto zone, which brings us to our last sponsored
Auto zone.
Get in the zone. Actually, I do have to get my oil changed.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's been several thousand miles, and I sort of always leave it hanging, as it were. So I might have to go to. I might have to go to the AutoZone or the friend with benefits zone.
You don't go back to the place that leased you your car?
I do, but it says like for thousands of miles, you're due on the thing. Service due.
Right.
And to me, I'm sort of a skeptical little miser. And I'm like, is it really due? Or are you just programming it into the car so I have to come back and get a muffler or whatever the fuck that is?
Yeah.
Do I have to change my air filter? Do I or do I not have to? What happens if I never change my oil? What happens then?
Probably nothing. And then someday your car might break down on the side of the highway.
Really?
Is that fine? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you will have lasted so long with never getting a service.
Yeah, I've saved money and time to the point where it's kind of like you and your wisdom teeth.
Worthless.
You sort of push the surgery. You're like, you could have gotten it all done at the same time. But you're like, I'll just get it done in a decade. Unfortunately, sometimes the decade, you survived and lived to the point where you have to deal with it.
Yep, and now it's come up. The chickens have come home to roost. Is that a saying?
Yeah. Do you think anyone's gotten an oil change and a wisdom tooth surgery on the same fucking day? So you drop your car off and then you walk to the dentist and then you walk to pick up your car?
Not that. No.
You doing it.
I can't do that. Yeah, no. No, you shouldn't do that. You're not supposed to like drive afterwards. You're like sedated.
Really?
Yeah, you're supposed to get like a ride home.
Shit. I didn't know that, man. I'm sorry. I don't know why I suggested it.
It's not a big deal.
Super irresponsible of me.
Yeah.
Give me the turdy. I think I deserve it.
Really?
That's the first time I've ever asked for it.
Yeah, man. It's
kind of noble. It might be the most noble shit ever done on the pod.
Yeah, but in a way,
give it to me. I'm gonna close my eyes and you give me the fucking statue that you think I deserve. I don't want to give it to you
when you want it. Like fine. You get the turdy, but you actually earned it much earlier. You earned it when you wouldn't say that the tournament podcast. Okay, that's when you earned the turdy. You've had it the whole show. So congrats.
I was gonna say maybe there's a world where like the one thing keeping me from the golden mic was the fact that I never asked for the turdy.
Yeah, no, it was.
But that's not the case.
That's an interesting theory, but there's no. I think that's your problem, Blumenfeld. There's not any like. There's no secret sauce to the turdy. It's the award for shittiness in podcasting, and you've earned that. And the golden mic is the award for excellence in podcasting, and that's it. There's no secret path to it. There's no trick. You just have to earn it. That's it. It's pretty straightforward, and I've actually earned it over 500 times, and I think that's pretty neat.
You think it's neat?
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Congrats.
It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Is there something in your mouth? Nice. Are you getting your wisdom teeth out right now? Why aren't you talking normal?
Been a long time.
What's that?
Because I'm chuffed. I'm talking a little different because I'm a little chuffed about it, and I'm humbled.
There's no way you're humble. You're so not humble. You give yourself a fucking fake award every week for 7 years. How is that?
It's not quite how it works. It's not quite. I give myself an award. Award is bestowed upon me when I've earned it. Hoorah.
All right. Thanks for writing in your emails, your theme songs. Send them all to ifiwereyoushow@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, potentially watching. And we'll be back next week for more of us. You can always check out our Patreon at patreon.com/JA. We got Jake and Amir episodes. We got outtakes to those episodes. We got Jake and Amir rewatch episodes. We got it all.
We're dropping Jake and Amir's early on there sometimes too. So
We don't give a shit anymore.
over.
We're
Get
sort
over
of
there.
just like insane this year.
It's all
2022
going
is
down.
about being insane.
Yeah, it's going down over there.
And thank you again to Austin and Guillermo for this Mr. Bloom Sky theme song. Let's hear it on the way out.
Can you not fall asleep right now? We need to talk about that disgusting habit that you picked up.
It's called butt chugging, and last time I checked, it wasn't disgusting.
Really? Have you checked recently?
Nice.
Amir
That's
is
enough.
shining in the
It'll fade out.
sky. No
It'll fade out.
inside. I'm in trouble. NBA was in a
Oh my God. It's gonna do it the whole song.
It's
gonna do it the entire time. I can't even hear the song. I have no idea what's happening.
Burning Man starts so soon. 7:30, and Amir has got his turn. His
Oh, good Lord.
together make If I Were You. If I were you, what should I do? My ex is thirsting me on.
The song must be happening. Good,
Insta.
good, good. All right, nice.
If I were you, what should I do? Can my best friend give me a blowjob?
Oh my God, you're breathing so heavy, man. You're gonna pass out. You're fucking faint. Holy shit. Holy shit. Just bob your head. Don't move your whole body. Don't shadow box.
If I were
Don't.
you,
You were
what
about
should
to
I
die.
do?
You were about to
My
pass
ex
out
is
from just
thirsting
dancing.
me on
Don't fucking box.
Insta.
You're gonna vomit.
If I were you, what should I do? Can my best friend give me a blowjob?
Oh yeah, I should call 911, but I think I actually won't.
Oh, please tell me what
You're
to
good.
do. Jesus, if you only knew, share with me.
That was a Headgum original.